guys, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Stashu and I am super excited to be here with you guys today. How are you guys doing? Today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 productivity hacks for working from home and just staying productive during this quarantine season. I know a lot of people are probably, maybe going back to work, but a lot of people are going to be getting new jobs after this reopening, and I think it's going to be important and relevant for people to have some guidelines on how to stay productive, after coming from a season where everybody was doing nothing, right? So let's get right into it. I hope you guys, share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your top 10 productivity hacks are. And if you want to listen to my flop somewhere in there, you want to watch to the end of this video. So let's get right into it. So my first tip is wake up early. Yay! I know you knew I was gonna say that. Waking up early is so important. Have you ever heard of the saying, the early bird eats the worm? It's true. I typically wake up between 4:30 and 5, sometimes 3, just depending on when I sleep and stuff like that. I know that is super early, but there's also a little clause in there for when I wake up really early, and I'm going to be talking about that a little later. But just waking up early just gives you that edge, and then you have a lot of energy. For those who are into prayers, meditation and stuff like that, you can do that pretty much as a time for you to get your routine in. Because think about it, if you have kids, if you have to drive to work and so many other things going on, if pretty much when you wake up is just when the work is about to start, then you are in big trouble. So that was me, when I started working from home early on. I would just like dash out of bed at 8 o'clock when it's time for my meeting, and it wasn't pretty. Pretty much wake up early, right? So that's my tip number 1, wake up early. Tip number 2. So my second top tip is make up your bed. It sounds really simple and it sounds like cliche, I know, or whatever it is, but honestly, if you do not do that, it's going to take a toll on you. Why? Especially for someone like me who wakes up really early. If I do not make up my bed and all of that good stuff, what happens is when I start feeling a bit tired, maybe around 8 o'clock or 9, I can just easily crawl back into bed because, most of us have our workspace, in our rooms or whatever it is. And so because of that, it's very important for me to just get up and make up my bed before anything else. So I think that's very important if you have, a situation like that. And maybe you might not have thought it was a big deal, but if you try it, you let me know what difference it makes for you, right? Because when you make up your bed, I think, psychologically, you just don't want to mess it up, and then, it just causes you to stay out of it for the time that you do not have to be there. So that's very important. I see a lot of people who, I know a lot of people who get up and they're just like, up and go, and they don't really think that it's important to make up their bed. And, 2-3 minutes they're back in bed and stuff like that. I think it's really, really important in order for you to be productive, working from home. If you have things to do, make sure you're making up your bed. Tip number 3, take an early shower. Sounds simple, but again, for most people who work from home or stay at home, I don't know if you've tried this, but for me, I have tried this, like waking up and then, finishing up with my morning routine and all of that stuff, or prayers, meditation, and then just getting on my desk. It has not been very helpful, but just getting up and, doing all of that good stuff and then going to get my shower, that has really helped me to be more productive. And sometimes just taking the sleep away from my eyes and stuff like that. And to make things even more interesting, I take cold showers. Yep, I take cold showers. It's just something that started recently, very hard. My husband and I were listening to Dr. Caroline Leaf. If you do not know her, she's like a Christian psychologist and neuroscientist or something like that. She studies the brain and how we can have healthy brains. And pretty much she had an interview with this guy called Wim Hoffman. If you do not know him as well, you want to check him out. He's called the Iceman. And he believes in cold therapy and cold water and all of that stuff. And so we were listening to her, and she had an interview with him, and pretty much she was talking about, just cold water therapy, stay in cold water for 2 minutes and all of that stuff. It helps with your immune system, helps you to fight diseases and all of that stuff. So the next day, my husband and I at home, I do just gets up and gets into a cold shower. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, he's like, didn't you hear that stuff yesterday? I'm like, but you just heard that stuff yesterday and today you're already doing it. Like, you are the one who loves hot showers. How comes you just easily getting into the cold shower? And he was like, you know what? It's all in the mind. It's all in the mind. Just like they were saying, and you should do the same. So it was so crazy. And I was like, you know what? I'm the one who put on this show. I'm the one who, likes to listen to these people. And if I do not take the counsel myself, it's just going to be bad. So right away, I started taking cold showers. And it was very hard because obviously I like comfort and stuff like that. So cold is not, the best for me. So I started, and then eventually I figured out a way to get past it. So now it doesn't matter what's going on. I can jump in there and take a shower. I developed my own technique. And pretty much, let me tell you, cold showers is going to cut your water bill. It's going to cut your electricity bill. It's just going to cut your shower time 5 minutes or less. You are out. So you want to try that and let me know how it goes. So my tip number 4 is exercise. So I have been trying to exercise, and I've tried exercising in the evenings, I've tried exercising in the mornings, I've tried taking my breaks to walk and stuff like that, and I just find that just doing it right after maybe my prayers, meditation, whatever it is that I have going on, is the best thing for me. And so, because again, it just gets my blood pumping and gets my heart rate up and stuff like that, and then it makes it easy for me to go and take my cold shower. So if you are trying the cold shower, you might as well try to exercise a little bit and make sure that you're warm enough, and it's not going to be as harsh as it would have been if you just went and took a cold shower. But that's my cold shower stuff. And so just again, for me, I used to go out and maybe run or walk and stuff like that, but I've been trying indoors as well. I have some indoor exercises that I use, 30 minutes, nothing crazy, just helping me to wake up more. And so if you want to be more productive, you can try that. I tried with my nieces. I have my nieces at home. We just use the time to dance, whatever it is that we're doing. I know that it's super hard for people who have kids and everything, but you just have to find a way to work with them around it. So, my nieces, when they see me working out, they, put their own pants too, and then they start working out and stuff like that. So little things that you have to do to get around it, I think it's going to help a great deal. So tip number 5, have a to-do list. Yep. It's so simple, but you will not believe the number of people who do not practice it. To-do list has been something that I've been trying to work on for the last 10 years of my life. Like pen and paper is, I don't know, it's just part of me. So that's my own clutter, my own junk or whatever, pen and paper. I'm always writing something. I'm always, whatever it is, anywhere I find myself, I'm writing, and I have things all over the place. So I've been struggling with to-do lists for the last 10 years, just trying to get things done. And then today I'll be writing in this book, tomorrow I'll be writing in that book, and just like all of that stuff. I try to do it, but not to the T most times. But how I look at it is, the scripture that says, the mercies of God are new every morning. So I pretty much look at it like every new day is a day for me to try again. So even if I put all these things on my to-do list and I couldn't do all of them, I tell myself, you know what, I'm going to try again, because pretty much it helps me to remember to call people, send text messages, send reminders and stuff like that. And in addition to that, I set alarms if I have to call someone and I have an appointment with them. I set an alarm and all of that good stuff. So it has really helped me over time. I'm still getting perfect at it. I'm trying to perfect myself and make sure that I'm doing it on a consistent basis and actually checking off those things. But I think, I haven't given up on it yet. No, I haven't given up on it yet because I probably do not do it all the time and all of that. But it's something I've been working on for a very long time, and I find that it helps me greatly with my productivity and making sure that I do not forget things and I do not wait for the last minute to do things. And so I don't know about you, but really try to do a to-do list. Like I know some people put it on their fridges or whatever. Just have a place, a journal, whatever, where you just write down your stuff and then cross them out when you're done. You can use your phone and use the tasks, but that's a whole different story, because sometimes if you're using your phone, it's convenient and everything, but then maybe when you go to do that, then you do other things and then you find that, oh, you're missing this and stuff. So maybe just start on paper, and then eventually once you've gotten into the habit of it, then you can go ahead and move on to maybe doing it on your phone and stuff like that. But again, try multiple things, see what works for you. Recently I was thinking about how to get better at tasking myself and doing all the things that I have to do. And because I'm so addicted to writing and putting stuff on paper everywhere, I realized that in one day I've written all over the place. So I decided to come up with a one-page rule where in one day I have to use one page. It doesn't matter if I feel like it's not enough, then I'm going to go online and then I'm going to finish up with whatever it is that I had to do. At least if you are, working from home, and just even if you don't have a job, just your regular things, it's going to make a big difference. Tip number 6. Have a designated workspace. You guys, it's so important. I talked about making up your bed earlier, and considering the fact that most of us have a workspace, the same as, maybe our sleeping space and all of that, because maybe there's too much noise and whatever it is, just have designated time for whatever stuff it is that you're doing. Because for those who work from home, you could either tend to do much, work so much, or work less and then feel like you've worked a lot. Just have uninterrupted times designated for this and that. What I realized was working from home, I gained a few pounds working from home, because obviously I would just eat, I'm just at my desk snacking and stuff like that, and then just different things. So I think just having uninterrupted time for work, and then maybe I'm gonna take a break at 11 and then go downstairs, make something, have my breakfast at 7 right after my workout or whatever it is. Just having that and then making sure that I'm keeping up with that, and then in the evening I'm closing my laptop and going for dinner and stuff like that. Just having that designated time, that works very well with a to-do list, because once you have a to-do list and then you designate time, then you're gonna see your productivity is gonna increase and you're gonna be achieving your goals more consistently. So just try to make sure that you have designated time. And for people who are working from home, make sure you're not sitting on your desk for hours on end. I recently know someone who developed clots because of just working hours on end, not standing up, not doing enough exercise. So that's the other extreme, either you're working too much or you're working little. So just figure out, try to get a balance. And I think it's gonna work out if you have, times allocated for like uninterrupted work, keeping your phone aside, making sure that, you're not working and being on the phone. And I think that's really, really important, especially for someone like me. I'm really scattered brain, and so once I think about it now, I have to do it now. And sometimes those now things interrupt the things that I already planned, and it just makes everything chaotic and a mess. So just make sure that you're allocating your blocks of time to get things done, whether it's your meal, whether it's your walk, whether it's your work and stuff like that, and minimizing distractions as much as you can. For me, when I do not want to use my phone, I just put it on do not disturb. I keep it to the side, and so calls do not come in. They come in, but I don't hear them and whatever. I just kind of try to minimize distractions as much as I can, turn off notifications and stuff like that. So whatever it is, so that I can have the designated time and I can get things done. Tip number 7, have a clean working space. Clean space. I've talked about how pen and paper is like my nightmare. I have papers everywhere. That's the highest disorder in my life, is pens and papers being all over the place. And so, for me to keep a clean space is just carrying all the bunch of papers and shoving somewhere so that I do not see them on my desk when I'm trying to work. And so just making sure that you keep a clean space. I'm not somebody who is big on cleaning. I'm big on keeping a space clean, but I'm not that person who cleans every day. No. So for me, it's important to make sure that, I clean in bits, clean in bits. So you have to figure out what works for you. Like saying that a Saturday is a cleaning day might not work for me. It will not work for me because I probably will have other things going on, and because it's not, the top thing on my list, I'm not going to get it done. But I always like to have a clean space. So what I have done over time is like when I take my little pockets of break, either I put stuff in the laundry, or I just clean down one section of the house, or just little things here and there, just making sure that clutter doesn't interrupt my workflow. Because if I do not have a clean space, I do not feel productive. And honestly, research has shown that clutter and all of that stuff just hampers your productivity. So I even try to do that with my laptop, making sure that I would usually have like 100 tabs open. So I would just try to close tabs and stuff like that, what I'm not using. But just figure out how to eliminate as much clutter from your space, and it's going to help you to be more productive. Tip number 8, make sure you over communicate. So I mentioned earlier that I have worked from home for over a year and a half, and I have in that time I almost lost my job because I did not over communicate. And so just knowing that for those who are going to be picking up jobs working from home and all of that stuff, you need to over communicate with your team to make sure that they know what you're doing, to make sure that nobody's feeling like you're staying there and not doing anything. Sometimes you don't have much to do, or sometimes you don't do anything. I don't know, everyone's job is different, but just make sure that you're over communicating, because once you do that, people, you have that engagement, and then it's just better for your job overall. So that's really strictly for those who are working from home. Just make sure that you don't get into a trap of like people sitting down and wondering what you're doing. Tip number 9. Tip number 9 is take naps. Yep. So I mentioned earlier that I was going to come back to the point of me getting up early. So the balance that I create with me getting up super early is making sure that I nap. So I really try to have naps. And did you guys know that Albert Einstein, John F. Kennedy, Winston Churchill, and all these great smart people that used to take naps? Yes, a lot of corporate, big corporate America companies encourage people to take naps. How I create that balance for taking naps is when I wake up really early, and then I know that in the middle of my day somewhere I have to take a nap. And if you have kids, that also ties into making sure that your kids are taking a nap, because if your kids are running all over the place Monday through Friday and you have to work from home, you will not be productive. I'm telling you, you will not be productive. Like sometimes I have my nieces at home, and sometimes I have to literally be working while they are studying. We know that that's what's going on now. People, because there's no school and all of that stuff, we have to manage kids and work. So make sure your kids are having a nap. That's going to help your productivity, because it just gives you that time to be calm, that time to rest as well. And so while you as well as you're taking a nap to boost your productivity, and which is even scientifically proven, right? There was a study that was done, between 3 groups of people who slept long hours at night, people who took naps, and people who took coffee to increase their productivity, and people who took at least 20 minutes of a nap were the winners in that challenge. And so I'm super excited because, with my own schedule and with the way I work and wake up, I have to take naps here and there to make sure that I am alert and productive. So make sure that you are taking naps, and make sure that your kids are taking naps. A couple of days ago, a friend came to my house, and I was telling my nieces, hi guys, you guys, it's time for a nap. And you know, when I say it's time for a nap, they just like drop their iPads. I'm like, drop your iPads wherever you are. So one of them was on the stairs. She just drops her iPad. The other one was, you know, like, yeah, it's time for a nap. And he was so shocked. He was like, do kids take a nap in this day and age? And with all of this, you know, COVID-19 and everything, everyone being at home and everything being chaotic, I'm like, if they do not take a nap, I will lose my mind. So just make sure you're keeping your kids in bed at least 2 hours in the afternoon. Make sure that they're having a nap. That is really gonna be good for you. It's gonna be good for them as well. So my tip number 10 is breathe fresh air. Sounds simple, it sounds, you know, obvious or whatever, but I used to struggle with, because again, the amount of time that I would sleep and when I wake up and stuff like that, I knew that one of the issues that I had was, you know, sleep deprivation. And so because of that, I would yawn throughout my day. I would just constantly yawn, and I struggle with that so much. Sometimes when I start yawning, I take gum, I chew gum and stuff like that. It helps me. But recently, I started sleeping with my windows open. I've been trying to get an indoor plant for a long time. I haven't gotten to it yet. I still will, but I just couldn't, you know, overcome the yawning and the tiredness and stuff like that. Even if I was in the car and I have the AC on, I would start yawning. So it was so hard for me to just really keep my energy up throughout the day. And so recently I started sleeping with my windows open, just letting fresh air get in. And so throughout the night, I was sleeping with my window open. I know you might say, oh, it's hot outside and all of that stuff, I need the AC. That's fine, everyone has to do what works for them. But in order for me to get enough oxygen, because I figured I wasn't getting enough oxygen, I had to sleep with my windows open. So I started doing that recently, and it's really helping my productivity. I'm not feeling super tired in the middle of my day. Like even during my work time, my window is open. It's better. I have a fan to, you know, blow air on me and stuff like that. By the way, I'm not usually super hot, so it's just, you know, it works for me. But again, just sleeping with the window open, having a fan on, just so that I'm getting fresh air, it makes a huge difference. If you can go outside and, you know, just take short 15 minutes breaks. If you can go outside, take 15-minute breaks and whatever, and just breathe some fresh air, I think it's going to help with your productivity. It has helped with mine. So those are my top 10 hacks for being productive, working from home, and just in general in this quarantine season. So if you enjoyed this content, why don't you just comment in the comment section? Let me know what your top 10 productivity hacks are. And if you want to try any of this one, like my favorite, which is a cold shower, try it and let me know in the comment section how it works for you. And just stay productive out there, stay safe. And as you can see, I want to give a shout out to my friends on the front line. I have this t-shirt designed by one of my friends who is a medical doctor. So if you want to support our frontline workers, you want to click the link below. These t-shirts are fulfilled by Amazon at this time. Just support our healthcare workers and pick a t-shirt. Let's keep fighting this thing. Stay safe and take it easy. Until next time, it's your girl Stashu. Bye.